What's wrong, man? Why you crying? Your girl left you. You still got a girl? You got 25 years to do. She just left? Oh, you been blessed. How long you been down? 6 months. Ah, don't worry. You got plenty of time for her to come back. You got to be the stupidest motherfucker. Man, you already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. After dealing with your own issues, being betrayed, having a man or woman that you care about leave you. You know, you have men in prison, you have women in prison, they all deal with the same things. After you go through something like that, which 99.9% of the people incarcerated do, it's hard to empathize, it's hard to sympathize for someone else when you see them going through it. Because you've already felt that. You've already dealt with that. You're going to see a lot of that. Most of that takes place in the jail. The women usually aren't around by the time men get to prison. There are a select few that are built for it tough, that are built for that life, that legitly can hang around and hold it down. But there's not many. Today we'll get into some of the stories of, some of my personal experiences and another guy's experience. To sit and actually think that she's not going nowhere is crazy. I always knew it was going to happen. That's why I never had no emotions when it came to relationships while being incarcerated. At the moment that the handcuffs go on, the emotions get cut off. That's kind of what you have to do to survive mentally and emotionally. You can't be sitting there dwindling on what she's doing, what she's got going on, if she's going to leave you. When you see it coming more and more every day, the phone calls start to slow up. You went from getting 5 letters a week to 1 every 2 weeks, 1 every 3 weeks. Now she's not answering the phone. Now you're not getting no mail. Now your number's blocked. I told you it always ends bad. Love on lockdown. Not the brightest idea. Trusting someone else to love you the way you love them when you have nothing to offer. Not the brightest idea. But anyways, that's what we on now. That's what we're doing today. You know how to seen it. You know how to lived it. So, let's relive it. So in my robbery case, I sat about 8-9 months before these people tricked me and gave me a bail. Tricked the shit out of me. Prior to that, I didn't have a girl. Like, I had girls, I had different, females I was talking to, and there was quite a few of them. Like, and it is what it is, you know what I mean? I'm a street dude. Where I lay my hat for the night, that's my home. I was talking to a bunch of different people. And this is a fact. Within the first 90 days, almost all of them were gone. That first month or two, I was getting blessed with mail. Every time mail came around, dudes, damn, you be striking, Jay. Oh, look at Jay. Jay get all the mail. Damn, show some love, Jay. Man, I know one of your girls got a homegirl or a sister, right? Wouldn't be long after that. It wouldn't be no more. Damn, Jay, you getting all the mail. Nah. You fast forward, I'm convicted. I'm sent off to prison. And the main chick that I was messing with that actually was my girl, she's done left me by this point, right? She done left me for one of my homeboys. Like, is in a full-fledged relationship with my homeboy. Like, they're living together. Got a family together, And I ain't mad over it. It is what it is. I was real pissed off at the time. But now, looking back on it, whatever, man. It wasn't meant to be. Years and years into my bid, I'm still not entertaining no idea of a relationship. I'd seen it go bad so many times for dudes. I'd seen dudes cry themselves to sleep. I had seen dudes get their asses kicked behind screaming on that phone and disrespecting the man sitting next to him. I'd seen it go bad in so many different ways that I knew, even before this bid, relationships are bad while locked up. The last thing you want to do is get that Dear John letter, call the house, Jody answers the phone, call the house, your number's blocked. When it all falls apart, it's a lot to deal with. So it's easier just to accept it from the beginning and move on. I'm maybe 5 years into a 10-year sentence, and I get a random visit, right? They call me, Williams, get dressed, you got a visitor. Oh, yeah? And they tell you who your visitor is. You can ask them and they'll tell you. I said, who is it? And they told me the girl's name. I said, okay. So I go get dressed, make my way over to the visitor room. I go in. She hasn't come in yet. I sit down at the table, and I'm just looking around at other people sitting there with their loved ones, looking at dudes that are 150 pounds sitting with women that are 400 pounds, looking at dudes that are all jacked up and muscular sitting with women that are twice their ages. Like, it becomes apparent real quick that guys will settle for anything they can get just to have somebody around. Sitting there looking around, and boom, the door opens up, and here she comes in, right? She walks up, wants a hug, like stands there like I'm a hugger. I don't stand up. Like, she did me dirty, so we're not gonna do all this hugging and shit, pretending like what you did didn't happen. You up here seeing me now, so things with old boy must not be so good after 5 years, right? 5 years I've been gone now. Oh, it's like that? I said, what's up with you? She sat down at the table and she brought in a bag of change. You can bring in $20 in quarters in a clear Ziploc baggie. And then your people can take, there's vending machines inside the visiting room. She can go get you sodas, something, a microwavable sandwich, so some hot wings to put in the microwave. You get chips, candy, whatever you want to eat, right? You can't get it, your visitor goes and gets it. You want something to eat? I said, no, I'm good. I brought all this change so I can go, so we can eat and say and kick it. I said, no, I'm good, man. So she gets up anyway, goes and gets a bunch of vending machine food, brings it back, sits it on the table, sits the drinks down. I don't touch none of the food. I open the drink, right? Twist the top off the drink, drink some of the drink. It's like an orange Fanta, sit it back down. And I'm like, so what's going on, man? You know what I mean? Like, why are you up here at my prison? And she was like, well, I miss you. It's been 5 years. Like, you must think time for me has stopped. Time has not stopped. You've been out there living your life. You've been out there shacked up with dude and created a whole entire life with this dude. Now you up here trying to just surprise me. You done drove an hour and 45 minutes to come see me. Cool, whatever. She goes on to tell me that things are bad. Like, things between me and dude are real bad. She's showing me bruises on her arms, bruises on her neck, bruises on her chest. She's like, he's all messed up on drugs. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what about you? You doing drugs? She's like, I was, but I'm not no more. And she wasn't the drug type when I left. Now, my homeboy, he had dibbled and dabbled, but he had never gotten to the extent of where he was at that point with his addiction, right? So she goes on to tell me, yeah, he beats me, he does this and he does that. And I guess I should have, first of all, I don't condone no man beating on a woman. I don't agree with it. Regardless of what's going on, it doesn't make it okay. But it was hard for me to show any sympathy for her situation, with her leaving me with my situation and choosing that, right? So I didn't show a lot of emotion to the situation. I just kind of looked at the bruises and stuff. And as she's telling me everything, it's like I hear her, but my brain is talking at the same time. My brain is just constantly, I'm reliving the loss. I'm reliving the whole situation. I'm reliving when I called over there one night and I was still in the jail and I heard my homeboy in the background and I knew right then and there what it was. I was reliving all that now that me and her were face to face, right? I remember what it felt like when them letters stopped, when she stopped answering the phone. I remember what it felt like when I was expecting that visit and she never showed up. So I said, what do you want me to do? I'm locked up. And you chose him, you know? Like I told you in the beginning, like, once I found out how much time I had to do, what this was, and you said you could do it, and I told you just to go on, and you said nah, that you weren't going to leave me. But you left me. And I knew you would. But all the same, you lied to me and you left me. I love you. I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm never going to leave you again. I'm here for you. I'll wait for you the rest of your time that you got to do. Boom, light bulb goes off in my head. This is what separates the men from the boys when it comes to these relationships. A boy, somebody last season, somebody that didn't know no better would jump on the opportunity. Oh man, pretty girl, somebody I used to care about, she did me wrong, but you know what? I'm locked up, it don't matter. I ain't worried about that. That's how a lot of dudes look at it. Just the idea of having somebody call on the phone, somebody to send them some money, the idea of being back in this visiting room next weekend, sitting down with a female, not being alone no more, because that's what prison is. Prison ultimately summed up is just lonesome. It's just you by yourself all day. And the only other people around you are people that you don't like, people that are loud, people that ain't going home, crazy people. Like it's a lonesome environment. There's never really a time where you can talk to somebody about how you feel. If you're feeling sad about something, unless you got a really cool cellmate and y'all like homeboys, like you don't just discuss no emotions. You just deal with whatever you're dealing with and you go on about your day. So she starts giving me this rundown of how she's going to be here. I got to man up. I can't let you break my heart. Sometimes in life, we got to break our own hearts in order to keep it safe. Probably didn't make much sense, so let me explain that to you. Sometimes it's better to do what you're going to do, eliminate the situation, nip it in the bud, deal with the heartache, go through it right there in that moment, than to wait and allow someone else to do it to you when you don't expect it. You start to trust somebody, love somebody, believe in somebody, and truly think that they're not going nowhere, when in the back of your mind, you know they are. You see it happen every day with the men around you being left. So I had decided long before, when she left the first time, like, this won't happen to me again. I'll never allow nobody to hurt me again. I've got this power where I can just cut my emotions all the way off and disconnect myself from people. I can do it to this day. That was something I was taught to do while doing time. Because as quick as you and somebody can be friends, y'all can be homeboys, it might not be 30 minutes from now you and him are fighting and y'all no longer friends, y'all enemies. So you got to learn to disconnect yourself from people and not have no emotional attachment to anybody. Female, male, nobody. You don't want that. That's a weakness. That's a character flaw. I'm back. I'm not going nowhere, Jay, and I'm sorry. I love you. You're who I want to be with. You don't have to worry about me leaving you ever again. That's in the past. Let's make things right. How much time you got left? A little over 5 years. We can do this. We'll get through this together. I sat there as she fed me her speech, tried to run down this game that she was running to me. And in my mind, all I'm thinking is, oh, things ain't so good at home no more, huh? Now you want the kid back, huh? Nah. She was in the middle of talking. I went ahead and stood up. Still hadn't touched none of these snacks and stuff on the table. Pretty sure the guy in the visitor room that takes the pictures ended up grabbing all that stuff. And I told her, I said, I appreciate you coming up here to see me. That's cool and all. But do me a favor. And I seen her eyes get all big, like I was going to say something positive. I kept it simple. I said, don't come back up here to my prison. Leave me be. Leave me alone. Don't be writing me. Don't be driving out your way to come up here. Like, nah. I'm not going to let you do this to me again. It'll only be a matter of time before you do this again. I can't go through this again. I got to focus on Jay. I got to get up out of here. I got to make it out alive. My mind has got to be in the game. I live on this side of the wall. You live on that side of the wall. My mind has to be focused on what's going on in here in order to survive. Because I can't control anything that's going on out there. I can't sit awake at night having emotions for somebody that's laying down with somebody else. I can't have you come on up here kissing me in the mouth. And I know what you've been doing with your mouth when you're not around me. You know what I mean? Like, you coming up here smelling like another dude, or you got a dude at the house. Like, there are rules to this game in prison. Like, guys will tell you. It's like the military. Don't ask, don't tell. When it comes to prison, if you got a girl, don't ask her no questions that you don't want the answers to. I've seen guys beg, baby, just tell me, just tell me, just tell me. And then she should tell him, oh, no, baby, why you do that to me? Why you? Don't ask, don't tell, don't ask no questions. I deaded that right there in the visiting room. Got up, no hug. Told her, don't come back up here. Who knows, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not willing to take that risk. And I turned around and I walked out. I remember when I went back, I was standing in the cell and I was taking off my blue shirt. You got to wear your blue shirt. I'm unbuttoning my blue shirt. I hang my blue shirt up, take my white tee off, throw a white beat on, take my blue jeans off and my boots off, throw a pair of sweatpants on, a pair of sneakers. My cellie's out in the pod doing something. I come out and I sit at the table with him. He's like, what's up, man? How was the visit? Like, it was straight, man. He's like, what'd you eat? I'm like, I ain't eat nothing. He's like, dang, your people broke like that? I said, nah, she brought food. He's like, well, who was it? I'd never even told him yet, right? So I gave him a rundown of what had happened in the past and who the girl was. He's like, man, you're tripping, man. Like, you had an opportunity to have somebody in your life and you turned it down? No, I had an opportunity for someone to leave my life. And I stopped it before it could happen. Are you crazy, man? Give me a number. I'll call her. I don't care if she don't come up here but twice. Which kind of igged me because this used to be somebody I cared about. Dudes will say little stupid shit like that. Just joking but not realizing. They can get underneath your skin. Be careful what you say about, a female or somebody's loved ones while you're locked up. So I just kind of gave him that look and he was like, I left it alone, right? For me, it was always better to be alone. I can't get up in my feelings over a phone call, what me and her talk about, and then try to live inside of a world that she's not a part of. You get on that phone and that phone it's almost like a time machine. It could transform you from where you're at, sitting right there, to a whole nother world with the way you think, your emotions, asking what's going on out there. Like it kind of transports you from prison for a second. And then when that 20-minute phone call is up and you hang that phone up, you look back around yourself and you're like, reality sets in. You're in prison. She just hung the phone up. And she's on her couch. It's 9 o'clock at night. Y'all getting ready to lock down. Sometimes they wouldn't let you out after 9. You ain't gonna talk to this girl again until tomorrow morning, right? She's done you wrong in the past. Do you really believe for 1 second that she doesn't have somebody out there? Are you willing to play yourself and accept that because that's part of the prison code? It's part of the prison rules. Like I told you, old guys told me in the beginning, they said, women are going to do what they do, just like men are going to do what they do. That's just how it is. If your woman was locked up and you was out there and she had 10 years, telling me you'd be faithful for 10 years? No, you wouldn't. You're going to do your thing. You don't want to hurt her, but you're not going to tell her, but you're going to do it. Then you're going to go right up in that visitor room and kiss her in the mouth after you've been laid up with somebody else all night. Women do the same thing. You just got to accept that when you're locked up. That's what they used to say. It comes with it. Having somebody around is a blessing. It'll also be the curse, but it's a blessing. Just don't ask no questions. Go along with it and ride it for as long as you can. Always felt like that was playing yourself. I felt like, for me, I would have completely played myself to let somebody just do whatever they want to do to me because of my situation. I'll be alone before I'm a fool. I'll break my own heart before I let somebody else break. It takes a special kind of woman to hold a man down while he's locked up. They're a rare breed. A woman that will be faithful, loving, loyal, completely committed to a man that can give her nothing more than conversation, emotional support, and fill her head with dreams of the future. I am 100% against relationships while locked up. I think y'all have come to that conclusion by now. If not, you don't listen very well. One of the reasons, aside from my own situations and my own bad experiences with love on lockdown, being incarcerated and trying to have a relationship, aside from my personal experiences, I've seen it go bad. I've seen women get played. And I mean played to the point of, in that situation, you can't help but feel empathy and sympathy for the woman. You know what I mean? Like, damn, she really believed this dude. I've seen dudes have women come and see them religiously, year after year after year. And he really believes, some of these guys, he really believes that he's going to be with her when he gets out. And it's because he has no other options at the moment. He's locked up. It ain't like he's got a bar of women to choose from where he can go out to the club or catch him a random at a gas station or something. This is all he has. So in his mind, he creates this fantasy of this life that he's going to have with this girl. Now he paints this picture for her of what it's going to be. He's going to come home. He's going to be father of the year to her kids. Kids that ain't even his. Kids that ain't never even met him. They're going to run off to Never Never Land. It's going to be snowflakes, rainbows, unicorn farts. It's just going to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be perfect. And most of these men get out, deal with these women for a short period of time before they either go back to the streets, go back to using drugs, go back to someone they were with before getting locked up, or they just completely go MIA and get locked back up. They do these girls wrong. And I'm human. I didn't used to like seeing that. I didn't. I didn't like the dudes that, even though it's none of my business, even though I was once one of those dudes in the streets, I didn't like the dudes that I seen that would be on the phone with one girl, tell her he loves her, and then throughout the day have 5 conversations with 5 other women, telling them he loved them. Somehow this guy done struck. He got 6 different girls. How you do? Where they do that at? Now they got pen pal websites. A lot of people are into those. I know some women, and I know women to this day that are in long-term relationships with someone that's locked up. And ironically enough, that's not the first long-term relationship they've been in with somebody that's locked up. I know women that the majority of their long-term relationships have been with people that are incarcerated. Some women like that. I've seen one woman, there's one woman in particular, while I was at this one prison, end up with 3 different guys over my years of being there. I remember when she was initially with the first guy. Now this woman I'm talking about, she's a big block. She's a big ass woman. Shout out to all the big girls, man. Salute to all the big girls. Nothing against being big, man. Live your best life. Be comfortable in your skin. Be who you are. Be happy with you. But this is a big ass woman, white woman. Over the course of me being there, like I said, 3 different guys she was in relationships with. Now the problem with this is, once you get on somebody's visitor list, you can't visit anybody else until your name is taken off that list. They don't let, if your name is signed up to see Jay Williams, you can't go next week and see Kay Williams. You can only see that one inmate you're signed up for. So things don't work out with the initial guy that she's talking to, and he passes her off, gives her number to somebody else. She deals with this guy for a while. He milks her, uses her for money, gets to a point where, you know, when you first start to help somebody, they're grateful. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. Then over time, they become entitled. Why you ain't sending the money yet? Man, you know I go to the store this week. It becomes one of those things. Her and that dude don't work out. Somehow she gets passed off again. For anybody watching that's ever been to a prison visiting room or a jail visiting room, we can all agree on one thing. You see couples up there that just don't make sense. Like, nothing against a woman, but you know that in real life, in the real world, in the everyday world that everybody's living in right now, there's no possible way that man and that woman would be together. This is a sweet woman, big heart, but she's a big, big woman. You get what I'm saying? And this is a somewhat attractive male, handsome male. It just don't, these two things don't go together. But guys are willing to take whatever they can get. You know what I mean? It's like a Cracker Jack box. You don't never know what's going to be in the bottom. Remember the Cracker Jacks? I used to love those as a kid. Pop the top, get the little toy out. That's what prison relationships are. You're just there for the treats. You don't never know what's going to be in the bottom of the box. You would always see these couples that just do not make sense. Look at her. Look at him. Look at her. Look at him. Yeah, he's definitely using her. Last I seen her, she was dating this little skinny black guy who was a whole entire crud ball. He didn't have anything, never went to commissary, was just, in our terms in prison, he was a bum. He was a scraggler. He was a scallywag. Like, dude was a scab. And he was an old Band-Aid. Like, he was useless. That's what she wanted. With the drug addiction and the drug addicts, men truly believe, like, I really think that they believe in their heads that they have it under control, and that when they get home, they're not going to get high no more. I believe that a lot of these guys believe the things they say over their phone in their visiting room when they lean forward, you know what I mean, whispering in Super Chevy Big Block's ear that, hey, I love you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They believe all that stuff. Then they get released from prison and all their options open back up. Now they can come and go as they please. Now they can work a job. Now they can get money, they can hustle. Now they can get high. They didn't think they were going to get high, but hey, nobody's going to know. It's just one time, right? Now they're all the way back to being wrapped up in that same life they were before they went in, except now they've got this woman that's attached, this woman that has been dipping in her rent money, dipping into this savings to take care of this man, selling her food stamps to make sure he's got money on his books. And she's in love with him. Everything for him has changed. She was free the whole time, and she was really sacrificing to be with him. He was incarcerated, so she was just something to do when there was nothing to do. I'm going to share a story with y'all real quick, man. I got to give y'all this before we get out of here. Now, when I got locked up, meth was a thing, but it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't like it is now. You know, everywhere you look, there's somebody tweaking. You got somebody messing around, somebody all methed up, somebody in a methed up situation, somebody messing things up. But it wasn't as common today. It wasn't as common back then as it is today. I had a dude I knew named Ron. I'll tell you about Ron. Ron is locked up because he's a meth cook. Ron makes shake and bake. Ron makes big batches. Ron is a chemist, a street chemist. Ron's got him a girl he's been with for several years. Their kids have been taken from them, have been put in custody of social services. They've lost their children. And this is all behind drugs. Ron wouldn't be my cellmate very long. In talking to Ron, Ron tells me exactly what I just told y'all. He was a meth cook. He was El Plaga, the plug. El Jefe, he thought he was. The boss, right? He makes meth. Ron ends up getting popped. Said he couldn't figure out how he got popped. He's like, I didn't sell meth. He's like, I had a couple people I dealt with. And when I mean a couple, two that I'd known a very long time, that I'd known my whole life pretty much. I would cook, I would give it to them. They would sell it, distribute it, give it to other people to sell. And then they would bring me my money. A lot of times they would just pay me up front for whatever I gave them, however many ounces I gave them. So he can't figure out how he got locked up. He'd go out, get on the phone, talk to his wife. And both of them, due to their addiction, because they were using it as well, him refusing to stop cooking, both of them had pretty much lost all their joy in life, which is their children. They lived in a little shithole house that should have been condemned, but I believe ended up being condemned and bulldozed. He can't figure out how he got caught. Talking to his wife on the phone all the time. She's up there seeing him. He's getting letters from him. And then he gets that Dear John letter. We haven't been cellmates maybe 3 weeks. And he gets the letter from his wife telling him she's going to file for a divorce. She wants to get the kids back. With everything that he's got going on, there's no possible way the courts are going to grant her the kids if she's still involved with him. Because they're going to want to know, where's that other junkie at? Where's the meth dude at? Where's the guy that, the father of the children that was responsible for helping you lose the kids? This dude's all distraught behind this. Goes out there that morning. They passed out mail that evening. He would spend that whole entire evening dialing numbers on the phone, to the point that guys are ready to fight him behind his phone. Like, some of these guys, they really got somebody to call. I used to have a set time I would call my son. So if you're up there just for the 194th time dialing this number that ain't picked up, and you've now cut into the time that I'm supposed to be on the phone with my son, and you're not talking to nobody, we're going to have problems real fast if you don't get your ass up off that phone and go over there somewhere and stop dialing this number to this girl that ain't answering. That night after he got that letter in the cell, he's in there. Man, I can't believe she's doing this to me, Jay. Why would she do this to me? He's just going in, right? Goes out there all night long. He's on that phone until them boys run him up off the phone, tell him, exactly what I just said. You can get your ass off that phone, get up out that chair, get up off the pot. You ain't taking no shit. Move. Go. If you get your ass whooped. He gets up bright and early the next morning. That's your best chance of jumping on the phone, because most people ain't calling nobody at 7:30 in the morning. First of all, because your people going to be like, why the hell you calling me at 7 o'clock in the morning? Secondly, because most times your people ain't going to answer at 7 o'clock in the morning. He starts dialing that phone, and to the point it's just like it was last night. Now it's around 11 o'clock, going on 4 hours. He's still trying to call his wife. She's not answering the phone. You got the Dear John letter. You got the, hey, it's not working. We're not compatible. I'm filing for divorce. Good luck with trial letter, right? Wouldn't be maybe, I'd say, a couple weeks later, one of the dudes he used to deal with, that he mentioned to me that, was one of the few select guys that would get meth from him, that he would give to distribute, gets locked up. He hears the guys in the jail with him and tells me, hey, I'm going to get moved over there where my homeboy is. You know what I mean? I've known this dude since the sandbox. Like, I'm going to get over there with my friend. He starts talking to the sergeants and them. They're going to make what's called the bed move. They're going to move him from our pod to the other unit and into a different cell over there so he can be over there. He tells him, I know this guy. We're like, lifelong friends. I don't give y'all no trouble. I mop and sweep up in here. Like, look out for me. The sergeant says, okay. Sergeant comes back and tells him, you can't be moved over there. You got to stay here. Why can't I be moved? I ain't done nothing wrong. The man's got you on his keep away list. And the keep away list, for y'all that don't know, is a list that is designed to keep you and your enemies separate. If you are scary, you got beef with somebody in there, you don't want to wear that ass whooping, you've done them wrong, whatever reason it may be, you tell the people, when you come into jail. Me and this person are enemies. Put him on my keep away list. And at no point are y'all ever supposed to be housed together. It happens. I've seen it happen because they don't pay attention to that paperwork a lot of times. But when they went to go move him over there, they seen that him and this guy were on a keep separate list. They got something messed up, Jay. They got me and my homeboy on a keep away list. As soon as he said that, light bulbs went off in my head. I'm smarter than the average guy. He is one of the few people they used to buy from you. Now he's locked up, but he wants to be kept separate from you, which means there's something going on you don't know about. He doesn't like you, something along those lines, because it's not making sense why. It's not no mistake. They didn't know y'all knew each other. You know the chances of two people that knew each other randomly being put on a stay away list, like 1 in a million. It's like hitting the lottery that two people that know each other from the streets, names will get mixed up on this list. It didn't happen out of coincidence. It happened because he asked them to do it, right? You could send kites over to other blocks. When the workers would come in, change out our jumpers, bring us fresh sheets and stuff. Well, when they're done, they're going to go from this block to that block to that block to different pods in there. If you need a kite pass, hey, take this kite. When you get over there, find such and such and get this kite from me. So he shoots a kite over there to the dude. He doesn't get no response. Well, he's got another dude over there he knows that he's done time with in the past that's in the pod with his homeboy. His homeboy ain't giving him no response to nothing. So he's thinking his homeboy didn't get the letter. So he shoots a kite over there to his other homeboy. Hey, man, it's Ron. Tell dude to, holler at me, man. I've been trying to holler at him. They got something messed up. He needs to take me off his keep away list. They're saying that we can't be around each other, man. Like, they made some mistake. Tell him he needs to fix that. Dude gets the kite, writes him back and says, bro, there's no mistake, man. You clearly don't know what's going on. Like, this is more than what meets the eye. He comes to find out that his homeboy got locked up for distribution of methamphetamine, but his homeboy is also dating his wife. His homeboy from the sandbox that goes way back is now in a relationship with the queen of meth, with this whole entire zombie, because that's what the woman looked like. I'd seen her through the visiting room one time. This lady had like scabs on her face, scabs on her hands, because it's very common with the meth. The stuff that's in it comes out your pores. People get to picking at their skin. They feel these little meth bugs crawling on them. They'll dig in their skin. I had seen the lady over in the visiting room one time and was just like, God, like her trying to, if she told me she was filing for a divorce, that'd be a good day. I mean, like, we're going to celebrate this bitch. Like, break out the cake. We need to do something. Light some candles. Like, this is a blessing that the monster left. He's all butthurt by it. And the cell snapping. And he started to get on my nerves because I'm tired of hearing about this woman. I'm tired of hearing about his problems. I got my own problems. I got court cases lying ahead of me. Like, I'm facing major time. And here you are talking about, the chick from bum fights. He gets around to going to court and he gets what's called his motion of discovery. Your motion of discovery is a pamphlet of papers that tells you all the evidence they have against you so that you can properly prepare for trial. If you ever find yourself in a situation, and you need to remember this, where you're in trouble, tell your lawyer you want your motion of discovery. That's going to tell you all the evidence the prosecutor has against you from beginning to end. How the cops got their information. They have to disclose all that to you so that you can build your defense and fight your case. It comes out a while later that he was headed off to prison because of her. She had called in, we have what's called crime solvers, crime stoppers out here. She had called in several times leaving anonymous tips that her husband was cooking meth. She was responsible for the house being raided. Her calls to that tip line got their house raided, which when he told me she didn't go to jail, it didn't make sense. When a drug house gets raided, pretty much everybody in there goes to jail, and the children go off to child protective services, but all the adults in the trap usually go to jail. She didn't go to jail. That was the first red flag for me. Both of y'all meth addicts, you're a meth cook. Both of y'all got history with law enforcement for drugs, and this woman ain't go to jail. She turned him in so that she could be with his homeboy. His homeboy moves in, sleeping in his bed, wearing his clothes, eating the $3 in food that's in the refrigerator that belonged to him, living his life, who knows, maybe even using his toothbrush if he had any teeth. And then his homeboy goes back to cooking, picks up where he left off, in the same exact house that's known by law enforcement for selling drugs. He cranks back up cooking now that his homeboy's in jail, and he gets popped. Wouldn't be long after that, old girl left the second guy and left them both looking stupid. But that relationship somewhat sent him to prison. You could say that. He sent himself to prison ultimately, but she wanted to be with his friend, so she told on him. Then his friend didn't know how to move. His friend was so hyped about being the plug now, so hyped that he was the man, he was making meth. He didn't need Ron no more, that he drew too much attention and got this house raided a second time and got himself put in prison. Only for them to become enemies, only for her to leave both of them, and them to end up in prison, her just to be out here continuing to roam the streets. In my opinion, first of all, he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. That's a no-brainer. But he definitely should have cut ties with her long before ever getting locked up. He definitely should have woke up when they took the kids and changed his life for his children, but he didn't. Definitely shouldn't have put so much faith in his homeboys. You tripping, you think you will come to my house and I'm not going to be there. My homeboy's going to be there kicking it with my girl. You've lost your rabbit ass mind. You don't shit where you eat, first of all. And you don't just leave your cookie jar sitting there so that starving people can stick their hands in and eat from it. Thinking that you could trust somebody that's on meth. Somebody that's delusional, that gets high and sells this stuff, which is just stupidity in itself. But yeah, I was happy when they eventually moved Ron out the cell with me. Because all this dude did was dial that damn number, sit in that cell while we were locked down, and write letter after letter after letter after letter. Talking sometimes he would send out 3 letters a night he would send in the mail, and it would be 5 pages, front and back in each envelope, 15 pages long, to this trap queen that left him and his homeboy on stuff. That was responsible for him going to prison, him losing a lifelong friend, them becoming mortal enemies, because Ron said, if I ever see him, I'm going to kill him. And I believe him. He was pretty upset and hurt. I'm going to kill him if I ever see him. We both end up in prison. I'm going to stab him to death. I'll bite his head off. I'm going to do it. I'll rip his heart out with my hands. I'll tear his face off. I'm going to kill him when I see him, Jay. I was real happy when they got Ron out the cell with me. Why I said relationships on lockdown, for me, it's just not worth it. And I don't want anybody to watch today's video if you're dating somebody locked up, or your husband's locked up, or your wife is locked up, or you just met somebody locked up. I don't want you to take anything I've said in this video and use that against them. Don't leave nobody. Don't get on the phone today and say, well, Jay said, because everybody's different. Don't put nobody in the categories I just created, because everybody doesn't deserve to be in that category. There are some good men locked up. There are some good women locked up, and I don't want you to take out anything I've said on somebody else. Just look for the signs. You know, don't find yourself crying yourself to sleep at night, heartbroken, going without, for somebody that really don't give a shit about you. And you'll know if they really do. The signs are there. It's all right there in front of you. You know when somebody genuinely loves you and when you're being played. If every other phone conversation consists of money, you might want to second guess what's going on if you're sending large amounts of money into the prison. Because you can only spend but so much on commissary. There's only so many times you can feed that story to somebody about the live, you breaking your TV, or you need this or you need that, before you should wake up and see it for what it is. But me personally, I just don't think that if you're facing any amount of time, a relationship is a good idea. If you're at the very end of your bid and you're serious about whoever you're talking to, you're serious about their emotions, their feelings, and you're truly going to do what you say you're going to do when you come home, and you know that within your heart of hearts, then go for it. But like I said, at the very end of your bid, it's not something you want to do with 20, 25, 10, 5 years laying ahead of you. Because at some point or another, things are going to go south. And it's not going to be snowflakes, rainbows, and unicorn farts. So let's quickly sum up today's video. Can relationships work while locked up? Yes. That's usually when they're going to work. The problem with them is they usually don't work once the person gets out. Somebody will tell you everything you want to hear because they need you. But what happens when they're able to provide for themselves now and they no longer need you? That's something you need to think about. Can you find somebody locked up that'll come home and be good to you? Yes. I met my wife at the very end of my bid. I was under a year. This is the only reason I even entertained the idea of talking to her, because I was about to come home. So it shows you that, yes, you can meet good men, good women that are locked up, that are sincere. Me and my wife celebrated our 7-year anniversary the other day. 7 years we've been married. So I'm living proof that, yes, there are good men in there. There are men that will come home and do everything they say they're going to do. Since I've been home, everything I told her over the phone, through those letters that I would do, I've done, and then some. But at the same time, that is rare. More of these relationships fail than succeed. It is up to you whether you want to take that chance or not. They say anything worth having in life, you have to work for, you have to fight for. Sometimes in life, we fight for the wrong things and end up with nothing, or end up in worse situations than we were to begin with. I pray that for anybody dealing with somebody that's locked up, that's in love with somebody locked up, that you have a good person, that's a sincere person, that they truly love you, and they come home and treat you with the respect that you deserve, that they come home and they hold you down the way that you held them down. Big salute to all the real men and real women all across the world that are loyal, that are committed, that do what they say they're going to do, whether you're on that side of the fence or this side of the fence. Big salute to all y'all. But just remember, it's rare. It's very rare. I'm sure a lot of people can jump in the comment section and some can say, hey, I met my husband, or hey, I met my wife while they were locked up and we're happy today. And then I'm sure y'all can jump in the comment section and say, man, he played the hell out of me. Man, she played the hell out of me. Man, I got used for money. Man, this dude came home and sold my car for crack. Just be careful in what you do. Just like relationships don't last out here, relationships fail out here, people separate out here, it's a bigger chance that's going to happen with someone locked up than with someone free. And if you find yourself with this chick that's locked up that is, beauty pageant material, and you're missing 3 front teeth, one of your eyes is lazy, one of your arms is bigger and shorter than the other, you ain't got 4 toes on one foot, and the other toes ain't got no toenails, question, why is this beauty pageant type chick messing with me and I look like Smeagol? If you're a big woman, or a woman that you would consider to be unattractive, now you've got this muscle-bound guy that looks like he should be on the front of a men's fitness magazine, question, what does he want with me? If me and him were to bump into each other at a red light, say he rear-ended my car, and we traded information because of the accident, Would he be asking me out on a date tomorrow? Or am I living in Never Never Land? Is this just a dream? Am I just helping him pass time? Am I just something to do when there's nothing to do? You be the judge, and you decide. Every situation's different. But with people being locked up, that's the chance you're willing to take. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed our discussion today. Ron's story, my personal experiences. And these are just my opinions. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's right. It's my opinion. You can completely disagree with me, and I'm okay with that. That's what makes an opinion an opinion. The only things that are facts in what I said today are the things that I personally dealt with and the things I've seen. But I can't speak for everybody, nor am I attempting to. You be the judge. Anyways, these jails, detention centers, these prisons, these facilities, they're all just crazier worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do. Salute. She was a zombie.